Hey, Dimitri. So as I was playing around with I think the level setup, the level design elements, and kind of thinking through what we're going to do for level one, which is the Sreevus Island approach, especially when we talk about the background layers. So I asked the question, I was starting to type this up, and I was like, I'll just do a video because I can also show you kind of what's going on. But I asked the question, and the thing is that each of the layers are basically in the skybox, and we can't put the layers, we can't, anything that's sitting in the world like this, we can't map behind the skybox because it just clips out in that case. So one of the things that we can do, as I was exploring this, and I'm pretty sure this is these are kind of our choices. So hang on a second, let me show you. I got hiccups. I just had dinner. We had some ravioli. It was great. All right, let's see here. So go to level properties. So, and then the background scrolling plane. Game camera. Yeah, so what we can, so the other thing we can, let me see, how do I say this? So unfortunately, we can't have multiple images that then proceed one after the other in terms of parallaxing. But what we can do, I think we're probably okay, is we can construct basically our own layers outside of the skybox and kind of cover them up. So I'll show you that in a second. But to give you an example, so here, this is just super rough, right? So I just shoved basically the art in the background. So and not that it matches or anything like that. But so we could do like a further off mountain range, which I think would be totally fine. But I think instead of doing, I think so we should make sure we show the ocean, because I'm really into like the I think the kind of sunset atmosphere. The oranges are nice. We don't go super detailed. We stay more in silhouette like we're doing right now, right? Well, we can have some little detail, but mostly shadowed. And then what we can do is take, basically our Sreevus Island and like touch up the art to kind of paint. We can paint over some of this here, but use some of the elements from the island as well. So to kind of create this kind of aesthetic, right? This is just, for me, this is like a moving mood board, right? So what we can do, let me put this back to the way it was. I think that's not right, is it? I think it's the opposite. It's level one, or there we go. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what we can do here, right, is so towards the end of the level, I put in, holy moly. Come on, in the level. Hey, wait, where'd it go? Where did it go? What happened? One second. Perspective. Oh, maybe I deleted it. Let me take a look. La 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 la, layers editor. No, it's in the background. Background, so it is visible. Maybe I deleted the object. So okay, well, we'll just put it back in for a second. So what we can do, right, is I think this was a bit funky. Let's get our scale. Let's try 500. I took the high resolution version that we had here, and let's sync this back into the background in the Y, so further away from the camera in this case. That also gives it a little bit of parallax in addition to the camera. And do something like this. And so we could go to game camera. Apparently I have this really intense spotlight that only shows up. Notice also we have this, we basically have the shadow from the ship being cast on the background, which is kind of neat. I didn't, it doesn't happen on the skybox. But if we construct some of our art in this way, we could take advantage of that, right? So, but basically what you'd have is you kind of have, this is very, very crude, right? But we could build basically the up to the boss. So we take a couple of images, we go and we can, align them up to where they don't have any seams, of course. So they're, and then we can tile a few of those manually and basically kind of do our version of, of like what we think it is to, like the island entrance, right? This is, why we're seeing it from one perspective and you have to fight through the wall for another is another story, whatever, but it's not the point. But, so we could construct it that way, right? So, still we paint the sky and everything to match closer to, I think, the transition, right? We might be able to paint this with like transparency, so we can kind of do a crossfade. But we can basically use these, like these larger sort of, and this is as far out as the actual camera in the editor goes, right? So, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So, and you get a sense, just to give you a sense here, right? Like, so, I mean, you've seen the whole level playthrough. So this image, being at this size, and so each camera is 1920 by 1080. So, I mean, this is like 1, 2, 3.5. So we're 3.5x essentially resolution. So, but I think we take our existing art and we do this transition where then you go kind of from the ocean, we show the beach line, right? We can use kind of the bash trees. We still paint it closer to the silhouette style, but it's clearly like Sreevus, right? In this case, we'll remove the static, birds. We can actually put the birds back if we do them as 2D animation if we want, and then have them kind of move around, but not as big a deal. But I don't want to spend tons and tons of time on the background. But the point being is this could be like the arrival to the boss, to the boss wall, right? So clearly this is way too big perspective wise, so we need to work through that, right? But yeah, I was thinking that's kind of so that answers the question. So we can't map them. I think we could still do a thing where we do the silhouette that suggests you're even though we're going horizontal, basically as you're progressing, you're seeing like the mountain range. Say it wraps around, whatever. It's in our style, or it's in the new style that will composite from both our existing art that we have here and then the other level art, of course. And then basically, I think. I mean, we could probably from maybe here at the third, like a third sea sultanship thing. So, I mean, from here, like just to give it a perspective, right? Like that's a pretty decent. Murdered. She's totally murdered. And the other side of this too, right, is that basically, I think. We got to change our perspective, of course, or the distance from the camera and all that good stuff. But and then we can also adjust our parallax. So because right now it feels like we're moving too slow on the approach, but we can tweak all that, right? So yeah, I think that's the thinking. I'll tell you what, I'll spin up a card for this for the folks out there watching. Thank you for listening to the ramblings, Dimitri. I'll talk to you very soon, and yeah, bye.